All right, this one's gonna be a long one. This one's gonna be a little bit longer than normal, but trust me, it's worth it, okay? Just let's dig in. What's up guys, my name is Tom, and today I'm going to be teaching you how we weehoo, also known as Nutclip. But, of course, let's back up for a second here. At a fundamental level, Nutclip is achievable due to a strat known as moon clipping. Moon clipping allows us to use spawnable moons, such as the Nutclip in Wooded Kingdom, to clip into out of bounds areas, allowing us to reach areas we weren't really supposed to and be fast boys in the process. Some other examples of moon clipping are Cascade Chest and the Ground Pound Moon in Snow. This is achievable by being inside the moon as it's spawning, and a few frames, I'm going to put that in question marks because we don't actually fully know the limitations of moon clipping. We're still trying to figure it out, but what we understand is you have a certain window of time to input the commands required, and if you obviously don't get them properly, you will miss the clip. But anyway, continuing, and a few frames before it's fully spawned in, throwing Cappy behind you. This will push you upwards and backwards, and if performed correctly, into the out of bounds area you are trying to achieve. In this case, the area behind the Nut Moon. A lot of runners that do this clip, including myself, don't normally recommend this for runners that are still learning movement. Some people like to say, oh, wait until you have a 106 or a 105, etc. But in my personal opinion, it's more about until you have an understanding of the movement that is required for the trick that is on par with someone around those PB ranges. I say this because the majority of time saved that you're going to cash in on in relation to Nutclip is completely reliant on you nailing certain difficult movement. The clip itself, while it puts you in a position to get faster moons, isn't actually what's saving you time. It's those faster moons and the movement to those faster moons. So let's go through this slowly. First, you want to hit the nut twice. This way, it only requires one more hit before the nut breaks and the moon spawns. This is where you want to set up and prepare yourself. Then, set yourself up against the wall. Some people swear by different setups, but this is what has always worked for me. So turn away from the wall and center the camera with one of your bumper buttons. This isn't overly necessary, but it helps a little bit later when you're learning. Once you're ready to go, everything after this point requires precise timing. Backflip to break the nut, wait just a split second, then backflip again. Then, after a bit, hold upwards on your analog stick towards the wall, then throw Cappy. I say upwards, but this is of course only the case if you have centered the camera. If you decide not to do so, you have to hold it towards the wall. I can't really tell you any amazing way to understand this timing as it's completely a feeling thing, but there is a helpful audio cue that was made by Tishel that gives you a rhythm for the actions that you have to perform. We call this the weehoo. Now, chances are you've tried this for the past 2 hours and you'll get it maybe once, if you're lucky. This is honestly normal. I think I personally spent a couple of days trying to nail this down, and I'm sure a lot of top runners were the same. I remember Nicro spent like a day and didn't get it once, and then the next time I watched his stream, he was gloating about how he was a god at it. So this takes time. Don't expect to understand it straight away. But the timing for this trick can be quite tight, and it takes quite a long time to build that into the muscle memory. Try not to let it discourage you. Once you get it that first time, it will start to work more and more as time goes on, and you'll start feeling more and more confident in your abilities. Now, once you've made it through the wall, you're going to want to cap dive towards the top left position on your analog stick. While doing this, I like to also move the camera so that I can see where I'm going, but I don't know, if you're a little bit more risky, you could probably go at it blind. Then, once I have the vision of the platform, dive again towards this part here. It will put you on solid ground. But, of course, try not to go too far forward, as if you keep going forward, you will clip back into bounds, and then you'll be stuck, and you'll have to go around and do the lever like normal. Next up, step away from the wall, backflip, throw, and hold Cappy and fall into Cappy to bounce off of him. Then wall jump and time a cap dive into this opened section in the wall. So what you need to do is you need to walk towards the edge of the platform, towards the moon. Then as soon as Mario walks over the ledge, hold back towards the wall so that you can wall jump. If you don't get the wall jump almost instantly, you will miss the moon and either get stuck, fall to your death, or fall into the deep woods. This section is probably one of the scariest parts when learning this new route, as a lot rides on the success of your wall jump. You can just slowly scoot closer and closer to the edge, but once you've spent some time with it, you'll begin to understand just how far out you have to go before Mario will begin to fall. I recommend trying to not take this section too quickly at first, as if you try walking forward as Mario with too much speed in this section, Mario will simply just put himself in a position where he is unable to wall jump. Of course, once you start getting into a top position of play, you start looking for that speed, but when you're learning, that level of momentum is just pure insanity. So be careful, take your time, you're still gonna save time. Now that you've jumped off the wall and grabbed the moon, things haven't really gotten any easier, but right next to you on the right side, there is a wall that you can't see, but you need to go in that direction. So what you need to do is you need to let yourself fall a certain distance, then cap dive towards the right, wall jump off the wall towards the camera, and then dive onto the surface above you. This initial cap dive can be annoying to time, to be honest. Too early and you're going to bonk and get stuck in the little area that the moon was in, which you once again can't get out of without warping to the Odyssey or a checkpoint. Too late and you won't have enough height to get onto the surface above you, and just general bonking and falling and just, it's a mess. I don't personally have any visual cues for this one. I go strictly off feel, but if you work purely off visual cues, this is about where I normally dive, so use that as you wish. Once you're on the surface, the movement I recommend is 4 roll boosts, then cutting left, and just as you begin to run up the ramp, start mashing B, or A if that's how you torture yourself, and continue to hold forward on the analog stick. Then, of course, in wooded fashion, we have another stupid part. I've heard some people try to get double or triple jumps off the top of this platform, but I've personally never tried or been able to succeed at that. So what I've always done is a side flip. So once you're at the peak of this ramp, just before you're about to hit the railing, quickly pull your analog stick towards the down direction and press B. This has to be very quick, otherwise you're not actually going to get the side flip out and you're just going to fall, which obviously is not helpful. Then once you've successfully gotten a side flip, just as you've hit the maximum height of the side flip, cap dive towards the left. If you have enough height and want to be a bit of a risky boy, you can actually go for a wall jumpless method and just dive straight onto the platform, but I recommend learning just a wall jump first, simply to be safe. We're almost done. Let's keep going. There are a few ways to set up this next piece of movement. I'll show them on screen, but I'm just going to explain what I do. It's more difficult than some of the other ways, but it's what works for me, so it's the only one I can really explain to you in detail. So once you're on the platform, you want to instantly buffer a spin pound and roll towards that left, jump over the railing and dive onto this platform. Roll along it, then just as you're about to reach the end of the platform, buffer a spin pound, let go of the roll, and spin pound over the edge to instantly break the nut. Then jump up and grab the moon. After that, buffer a spin pound during the end of the moon animation, roll towards the top left position, then instantly roll cancel towards the top right. This will allow you to vector in the air and end up closest to the next nut moon. Then roll off this platform, buffer a spin pound, and break the nut. And that's it. You've now got an understanding of everything that goes into Nutclip. Is what I would like to say, but there's still another variation to this route that you might want to look into. That variation is, of course, what we call spiletless. So, as I'm sure you're aware, the use of this Nutclip route removes the need for the pipeways sub-area and replaces it completely. But with the spiletless edition, it's actually put back in. So once you've gone through the tower section, instead of heading up to spew it, buffer a spin pound and roll towards this hole in the platform. Buffer another spin pound during the roll and rise up in the air and spin pound off this area in the wall. In midair, start vectoring to gain enough distance to make the gap. Then you have 3 options. Either go for the buffered jump and avoid the stunned animation, just dive to avoid the stunned animation, or land directly on Torkatu or the robot to negate the stunned animation. The buffered jump is the fastest to my knowledge, but it's incredibly difficult to pull off. I personally don't do it because of how irregular it feels compared to something like poison triple, but your mileage may once again vary, and just mess around and see what you're comfortable with. Make your way up to this section around the corner, getting a cappy return jump right as you turn the corner if you can for that extra height, then cap bounce and cap dive again to get another cappy return jump, jump off the wall, jump up and jump off the wall to hit the nut, then wall jump again and throw cappy and dive towards the wall. This should break the nut really quickly, allowing you to grab that moon just a little bit faster. Once you've grabbed this moon, throw cappy towards the left and instantly dive. When you land, do one single roll boost and begin buffering a spin pound. Once you've rolled far enough, spin pound straight ahead and continue roll boosting towards towards the pipeways. Then either jump or ground pound into the water, then just do pipeways as normal. Once you've grabbed the second pipeways moon, instantly warp to the Odyssey. And congratulations, you've just done the Nutclip route, one of the most advanced ways of doing Wooded Kingdom at the moment when I'm recording this. Just you wait, they're gonna find a new way to fuck it all up. Everything I went through in this video is incredibly difficult, and if you see any runners pulling it off like it's no issue, I honestly mean it when I say it's because they've spent days practicing it behind the scenes. For example, both DD and myself in the recent months have kind of had large periods of time where we've both just inadvertently lost the ability to do Nutclip for whatever reason. In the end, it was kind of because we both lost the proper timing for the clip and basically had to reteach ourselves. So I really do mean it when I say to take your time, learn it properly, and don't fall into a habit of trying to rush any of this video. It all has to be spot on. Keep popping, boys. Get those clips. Run up them ramps, and I'll see you next time. See you next time, boys.